and now we have our next point. We are just say hello to BlackFox Farm and Distillery. Hello and welcome. Somebody there?
Hello, Germany from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's a bit blustery out here today, but it's actually not that bad at all. I'm Barb from BlackFox Farm and Distillery, and I'm really excited to share our story with you today. And it really isn't that bad out here today. It's only -4 degrees Celsius. Yesterday, the temperature was -23. But I think we should head inside where I can tell you the story where it's a bit warmer. Follow me.
Really nice introduction. Oh, so I leave you now, and
we are really thrilled that we have this opportunity to tell you about BlackFox Farm and Distillery. It is something that we've been looking forward to for a long time. We had wanted to come and be in Germany, but apparently we couldn't do that this time. I would like to start by sharing my screen with you and telling you a little bit more about us here. So I would like to share my screen. Oh, am I allowed to share my screen, please?
Yes, you are. This is something Ralph needs to do by clicking on your name and
oh, I think we need to share them for both of the BlackFox people because, yes. And how do I share? Okay, we are trying.
I'm asking in direction to Ralph. Ralph, kannst du bitte alle freigeben? Dann sind wir auf der sicheren Seite.
Any luck here? Okay. Well, we wanted to talk to you. Oh, there, I think we've got it.
Mute video. Share
So
screen.
I released for you.
Okay.
You can share.
Okay. Nope. Trying once more.
Okay. Done.
We're going to try this one last time here to share the screen. There we are. Excellent. Okay, so what we wanted to talk about was that we are in Canada, and we are in, I want to make sure that I can share my computer sound. There.
Yes,
we are in Canada. We are in the prairies, in the heart of the Canadian prairies. So Canada is known for a lot of things, such as, yes, maple leaves, rivers, mountains, lakes, for sure. Bears, of course. Beaches, nope, sorry, not in Canada. Snow and enjoyment of snow, for sure. Definitely not. Yes, this is us. And for sure, the Northern Lights. I wanted to give you some perspective of how we are situated here in Canada. As I mentioned, we are in the heart of the Canadian prairies. So we are in Saskatchewan. We are, if you see the size of our land base, it's pretty large, especially when we superimpose it over the European continent, because, and it tells you something about Germany has a population of about 83 million people. We have a population of just over 1 million people. So what we have a lot of space. We are also known as the land of the living skies. So we have great big skies that people can enjoy. We also have a lot of grain. We grow wheat and barley and peas and canola and flax, and we're known around the world as to be the breadbasket of Canada. And so that is kind of where our story starts. This is our farm here at BlackFox, and I hope that someday you can come out and visit us when the weather's a little bit more cooperative. But I wanted also to share this video with you. It's just a short one to introduce BlackFox to you.
A true craftsman is committed to progress, to a purpose, to passion. This is ours. The story of BlackFox begins here, in the heart of the Canadian prairies. As farmers and distillers, we respect our terroir, this land we proudly call home. These fields bear the fruit, flowers, and grains we transform into spirits as rare as the BlackFox itself. Every bottle is an artful expression of the elements, aged outdoors through warm summers and glacial winters. We invite you to experience true Canadian craftsmanship, from our hands to yours.
So our story starts a long time ago. My husband and I were kind of college sweethearts. We met in the College of Agriculture at the University of Saskatchewan here in the province. We grew up on farms. We were, my husband came from a grain farm where they grew a lot of different grains, and my farm was more of a mixed farm and heavily based in livestock. We, after we finished university, we got married and we went back farming with John's parents. That was something that we thought that was going to be our lives. We took that grain farm from 700 hectares up to 2,500 hectares. We expanded and we grew different crops. We also became partners in a fuel and fertilizer dealership. We had an animal nutrition consulting business on the side because my background, I have a master's degree in livestock nutrition. And is everything going well? Okay, good. I wasn't sure. And we raised 4 children on the farm. We have 2 boys and 2 girls. Farming is something that's always been important to us, and agriculture as well, but also learning, continuous learning. John and I are really enthralled and really appreciate continuing education. So what we have done is we actually rented out the farm for 2 years and took a sabbatical from farming. We went and we took our children and we lived in Mexico for a year and we lived in Chile for a year. What we wanted is we wanted our children to see that life in different parts of the world was different. It wasn't the same as it was back home, but that was not, that was okay. That wasn't a problem. It's all right that things are done differently in the world. It's not wrong. It's just different. We were also looking for some other opportunities to see if we could expand or do something different. And when we came home, what did we do? Well, we went back grain farming because that's what we knew and that's what we were good at. But after 2 years of grain farming, we came to a crossroads. We were at a point in our lives where we either had to expand our grain farm because it wasn't big enough at 2,500 hectares. There wasn't enough capacity to bring on the children if they wanted to farm, or to move into the future. The problem that we encountered was, so did all of our neighbors have the same idea. They decided that they were already at 5,000 hectares, 10,000 hectares, and there was no land available for us to purchase even if we did want to get bigger. And John and I really like dealing with customers. We really like that connection that we have with people. And in grain farming, you don't have that connection. So we made a huge decision to do something different. And BlackFox Farm and Distillery is the something different that we came up with. What we have done is we sold that family farm, which in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan is a very serious issue. Nobody sells the family farm. We are 3rd generation on that farm. We have been farming in our families for over 5 generations, but it wasn't for John and I. And we decided that we needed something that was closer to the customer. The problem with doing it where we were is the nearest village was only 500 people. And you can't run a business that's close to customers when only 500 people are your customers. So we moved an hour south, we bought another farm. We are now closer to 280,000 customers, which makes it a lot better. And on this new farm of ours, it is only 40 hectares. It is 40 hectares. We now grow flowers for you pick. People can come out and pick their own buckets of flowers. We have hectares of flowers that we grow. We also grow some pumpkins, but we now have a distillery where we make amazing gins and whiskeys from the ingredients that we grow on our farm. One of the ingredients that we use a fair amount of is called triticale. And triticale is a hybrid between wheat and rye. And I'm going to turn it over now to John to talk about the distillery a little bit, and then I'm going to join back in. But now I'd like you to meet my husband, John. And to do this, we're going to use a pre-recorded video. So again, I'm going to share my screen. And do I have to share the audio again? Okay, one more time. Meet my husband, John.
Hi, I'm John, and welcome to the distillery at BlackFox. From all the distillery's fields and the flowers that we grow outside and the great team that we have, this is the accumulation of all their efforts. Ends up right here where we make our award-winning products that we ship all over the world. What we're trying to do here, as I'm sure Barb tried to talk to you through, is we're trying to take the ingredients that we grow and make something really cool out of them. In Saskatchewan, we grow really, really good grain. And forever, we've just put it into rail cars and we've shipped it away, and we haven't captured that value. So there's a whole value-added thing. And then if you take that and you talk about craftsmanship, and all these people in Saskatchewan that are really good at doing things. So how can you show that off? And this is how we've decided to do it. So what we do here is we take the grain that we grow, we ferment it, and we make whiskey and gin and liqueurs from everything that we grow outside. The process is actually quite simple, except for the fact that things never quite go the way that they're supposed to. So in order to make whiskey, whiskey has a really interesting history in Canada, and Canadian whiskey was known at one time to be some of the best in the world. So as time went along, those values of craftsmanship kind of got eroded, and everybody kind of got into, here, we're just going to supply the marketplace with a lot of stuff. And now it's up to us to try and bring it back. So we grow the grain. Like I say, we can grow really good quality grain in Saskatchewan, and we take that and we try and do something special. So how can you take Saskatchewan grain and make it more special than what it is? Well, for us, it's about what you grow. So if you look out on the farm in Saskatchewan, you see a lot of wheat being grown, you see some rye, you see oats, you see all these things. One thing you don't see here is corn. We're not in corn country. So the concept behind making whiskey then is going to be on a grain focus, on a focus on what we can grow here and what we can grow well. So we're using oats, we're using wheat, we're using rye, we're using a grain called triticale. Triticale is a really neat one because it's wheat that's been crossed with rye, so you get rye flavors, and you get, for myself working in here, it handles a little bit better, so it's a really nice product to use. We use a little bit of barley. But not very much. There's a couple reasons behind that. One, I don't like growing barley, so that kind of takes the fun out of it. And two, barley is always associated with malt whiskeys coming out of Ireland and Scotland and Japan. And we really wanted to put our stamp as being, here, this is what Canadian whiskey is. So Canadian whiskey was always usually associated with a flour mill, so they were either milling wheat or rye, and they were using the middlings off of that. So the byproduct of the flour mill was being used to make whiskey. So that's kind of the concept of what we wanted to do. We say we're really good farmers, we can grow really good grain. The next step is to ferment it. We're really lucky in Canada because we have some of the best yeast companies or biological companies in the world. We get to partner with them. We're using those really good ingredients, tie them to our really good ingredients, and we should be able to make really, really nice products. So we do that. That whole process is called mashing and fermentation. And then distillation is using this wonderful piece of equipment. And then that's where I come in. This is where I kind of take control of the situation. Now I've got Mother Nature's done her thing. She's produced the crop. All the scientists producing the yeast have done their thing. They've given me the yeast to work with. It's up to me as a craftsman to be able to look and say, here, this is what I want to achieve. And that's all about quality here. And I think quality is something that we kind of take for granted because everybody uses it and they use it in a very flip manner and say, oh, well, our stuff is quality. But really what is quality? What does it stand for in any kind of a business? And I think for us, a lot of it is being able to wake up each day and say, we're going to try and do it better. And it's that continuous striving for perfection and knowing that we'll never get there. So it's this lifelong road of learning, of tasting, in this case, of just striving to always be that little bit better, whether it's taking care of the environment or what we're going to do. So today what we're doing, actually, you can see in the stills, we can see some product that's bubbling around in there. It's we're making the precursor of making gin. So this is kind of gin season for us. We've got lots of stuff coming out of the fields that we're going to make gin with. Right now it's cucumber season, so we have to really get in a hurry and do it because we want the fresh cucumbers coming out of the field that we're going to process. So for us, it's a long, involved process. We've been working on making this base spirit probably for the last couple of weeks, and we just ran out 2 days ago. So now we have to quickly make some more before the cucumbers become overripe. So this kind of a business, you have all these variables, and really when you look at it, when you look at your own lives, you have this nice plan all set out that this is going to happen today, and then tomorrow this is going to happen, and then somebody phones you up at 8 o'clock at night and says, oh, sorry, plans have changed, we're going to change something around, and either you can't take your kids to daycare or whatever it is. You have to be able to adapt really quickly. And you have to adapt really quickly and still maintain that focus on doing a good job. So that's what we're doing here. We kind of hustle up. We put in some long days this time of year, just trying to make sure that we keep our eye on the ball. And every day something goes a little bit wrong, but typically we can find a way of correcting that. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the process. Process is really important in a lot of things that we do. The process of distilling, if you've ever gone to a business meeting and your CEO sits down and he says, we're going to distill this down to the bare bones, and he's talking about concentrating something, about really getting rid of all the other stuff that doesn't matter and getting down to what matters. When we call it distiller's beer. So you take your grain, you ferment it, you put it into the still. It's got lots of stuff in it. It's got lots of flavors. It's got lots of bad stuff. It's got good stuff. So what you do when you're distilling is you're heating that up. And because all the different things have different temperatures, you can separate them out. And that's what we're doing. So right now, today, what I want to do is I want to take a lot of flavor out of this. So it's up to me. I'm the individual that decides what I want to do. I'm in control of the situation. So I know I can control the temperature, I can control the flow rates, I can control the temperatures. And this is where the art form of distilling comes in. So I've got all this chemistry happening in the background where I know what's going to happen, but then I have to make the artistic decision on saying, well, this is the kind of flavor I want to end up with it at the end of it. So I've got the still, it's heating up, it's starting to drive all the alcohols and all the different components out of the liquid, and now I've got a vapor. And then I'm going to send it through a whole series of different distillation plates and devices in order to control the flavors of it. And today that's what's happening behind me. It's a nice, quiet process. Basically, things are boiling and then condensing and reboiling and condensing, and the process goes on. And at the end of the day, I have to make that final decision just like you do with anything else. You have to say, this is good enough or it has to be done again. And that's why there has to be that human involvement all the time. We can have all sorts of computer controls in here, but at the end of the day, if we want to win an award for having a really good gin, this is when it happens. Somebody's making a decision to say, this is how I define craftsmanship. This is how I say this is really good. And then that's a keeper. And if it's not a keeper, I'm afraid that's when we have to do it all over again tomorrow. And in this business, it's not quite that simple, because when you wreck a day's worth of work, it probably takes you about 3 days to fix it. So you have to make your decisions wisely. And I think we have. We've been really lucky since we've started. We've been open here for 5 years now, and we've won awards all over the world, from Hong Kong to London, England, and right here in Canada, on the quality and around the whole concept of what we're trying to do. And that's driving home, bringing our ingredients, bringing a little taste of Saskatchewan or a little taste of Canada into somebody else's home, and providing that for the customer. So that's what's really important to us. It's not that we want to do things the hard way, but we do at times want to prove a point. So what we do here is we'd be one of the only distilleries in Canada, like at this scale, that produces absolutely all their raw alcohol. So everything starts with grain. It gets mashed in this container here, so it gets cooked. We convert all the starches into sugars, and we produce our alcohol that way. It's not the easy way to do it, but we feel it's the best way of doing it. One, it lets us be truthful in saying, here, this is what we're trying to do as far as agricultural value adding kind of a thing. So it's always using that green, taking those good ingredients and processing them, not having to go to our customer and try and make excuses on, here, we were going to do it this way, but we compromised our values and we decided that we weren't. So this is kind of what's happening back here. But back here, there's another story that happens in our distillery, and that's about how do we handle the environment. Everything that comes out of this room has a way of getting recycled. So the mash, after it gets distilled, gets composted and reused as fertilizer out in the fields. This is all geothermally cooled, so it's a very low energy source that's required for the cooling of the distillery. And then at the end of the day, when we're cleaning everything up, we're using organic cleaning agents so that, again, we can use it all in our compost. So we've got that commitment to being truthful to our customer and trying to make a really good quality product and tying it into the environment. And we bring it all together, and it seems to make that nice, not so much a nice story, but it makes us feel good. And we hope it makes our customers feel good too, because we're really trying to portray that honesty and that sense of community, that we're trying to bring everything together.
Okay, so you might have recognized that it is not cucumber season right now in Saskatchewan. This was filmed a little bit earlier. I did want to show you the gins that we will be having available in Germany. We have our traditional gin number 3, which is made with calendula flowers and rhubarb. We use rhubarb as a citrus because you might have recognized that we cannot grow oranges or lemons or limes here in the province. So that is our traditional gin. It is lovely in a martini. It is very nice with soda, but it also makes a fantastic G&T, gin and tonic. This is the cucumber gin that we have been talking about. There are close to 1 kilo of cucumbers in every bottle. And if you do come sometime in August, we would really appreciate it, because then you can come and help us pick and wash cucumbers to put in these bottles. This gin is very nice in a mojito. It is nice with gin and ginger ale. It is also a very, very crisp gin in the summertime with tonic. So it's a lovely gin for those purposes. I forgot to mention that the gin number 3 and the cucumber gin both won gold medals at the World Gin Awards. One was in the World Gin Awards in Hong Kong, and the other one was at the World Gin Awards in the UK. Now, the other gin that we have that's going to be available is our oaked gin. So this is gin that's been in a barrel. It'll start off tasting a little like a whiskey and then finish like a gin. A lot of people think that an oaked gin isn't really a common thing, but you have to consider history. It is well known that the British sailors were paid part of their rations in gin. And if you think about it, there's no way that they would have put bottles of gin on the ship. They would have put the gin in barrels. So the gin that the British sailors were enjoying would have been a cask gin, just like this one. It brings on the warm and vanilla flavors, and it is really, really a treat to sip. It is just something that is enjoyed best neat, or it does make a fantastic Negroni. This one was named World's Best in the UK. So not bad for a couple little distillers out of Saskatchewan. Now, looking forward to having you come and visit sometime. And our story is one about craftsmanship, sustainability. We want to put what's all the best of the ingredients that we have and everything that's special to us in a bottle so that you can share it with everybody who's special in your world. Now, I'm getting ready to go out to the chill out area, and I hope you can join us there. Thank you very much for your time. Danke.
Thank you, Barb. Don't run away. So, oh no, she's out. Okay, she's now on the way to the chill out lounge.
Okay, I'm back.
Yes, Barb. Chill out lounge, I hope it's not so far for you because it seems to be cold in Canada, actually. We have seen the picture in the beginning of your slot. Was quite nice to see how the weather is actually in Canada. And
it's been pretty remarkable here. It's been a very snowy November.
Yeah. Very, very nice, the impression. Also, thank you very much for your very professional presentation. And also would like to thank you that you hosted our audience in the chat with the German language. Additionally to your English explanations was quite nice for all those which could not follow in the English language. Very professional. Thank you very much for that. And
Welcome.
we have a small question to you. You're just entering the German market, correct?
Yes, actually, we have been selling in Denmark and we sell in China. We also sell across several provinces here in Canada. And so right now, if anyone is interested in purchasing, it'll probably have to come through our Danish connection, but we will definitely share that with you in the chat.
Very good. Please share it with us and the audience that they know where to buy your very special products. It was quite astonishing what your program is. Very, very nice. Even though I have to put emphasis on that you have registered really late for the festival, but you seems to be very well prepared. So thank you very much.
Yes. Yeah, terribly sorry. We've had some tough times getting connections going. I guess it's a long ways from Canada to Germany.
Yes, that's right. So this is correct. We received the goods only on Thursday or Friday. But anyway, to all those who have not been delivered yet with your gin, we will of course take care for that. You will get it after the festival. So
that is fantastic. There's going to be many gins for them to enjoy, and let's let them enjoy them now, and then they'll have that special treat sometime in the middle of next week.
Yeah. Thinking positive. Very nice, yes. Bob. So now I will release you to the chill out area, which is also quite nice. You will find a lot of friendly people who will take the questions towards you.
That is fantastic. Thank you for this opportunity and pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, thank you too, and it's the same here. Bye bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.